Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Panama, and today we're going to talk about are the don'ts that tourists should know about when they come here to Panama. And I want to start with this one right now. Don't think for 1 second that Panama is cheap Central America. It is not. Panama is one of the more expensive countries to visit in Central America, and also I would say in all of Latin America, so do be aware of that when you come here. So finding those cheap tours and those cheap night outs, not as common. Kind of why when I'm here on a spring break time filming, not a lot of spring breakers are coming here. They're hitting other parts of Central America, so do be aware of that. Now, I'm not saying it's insane expensive, but I will say in comparison, this is one of the more pricey destinations in Central America, okay? Now, talking about priciness, you might think about the money. Don't worry about exchanging money when you're here. I know if you look online, they'll say, oh, the official currency is the Balboa. No, well, yes, but actually it's the US dollar. The coins, you'll get Balboa coins, but you'll use US dollars when you're here. So don't forget to get money out if you're coming from the US before you come, so you don't have to pay the ATM fees, all right? But also, when you go to the ATM and then go inside the bank and get small bills, okay? I know I said it's expensive, but it's not that expensive. And when you're tipping people, you're going out, you're doing street food, which is awesome here in Panama, you're paying with cash, and they don't always have, you know, change for it. Your taxis don't always have change, so have those small bills as well. But no, US dollar, you're gonna be okay, all right? Now, another thing I think is very important to mention is don't doubt the importance of the Panama Canal. Like, I'm here on the Pacific coast, and I just see the ships lined up to go in the canal. Look, the Panama Canal brings in a ton of money for the country. It is very vital to the country. It's not the only thing in the country, so please, please don't think that Panama is just the Panama Canal, because the ecotourism places you can visit, the beaches, whether it's here on the other coast, I mean, it's a fantastic place, but yeah, don't pass up the canal, okay? Literally, go take a tour so you can go see Monkey Island when you're in Panama City, and you go do the hikes, you know, in the rainforest and stuff. You want to do that, but the canal is a part of Panama, and it's something you should visit. Even if you just go to the museum about it, it's worth it, because it's really kind of a cool thing, which is kind of funny. We're thinking it's just a canal that goes through the country. Yes, it is, but it is something important. Also, maybe don't go into the political stuff that goes along with the Panama Canal in other countries, because just stay away from that, okay? Just enjoy your tour through the Panama Canal and move on, all right? So whether you're going on a tour of the Panama Canal, you're going shopping for souvenirs, you're heading to a restaurant, my next don't for you is don't forget to greet people when you go anywhere. Buenos días, hola, buenos días, buenas noches. Like, that is something you have to do anywhere you go. That's how you're gonna ingratiate yourself with the locals. And here in Panama, it's very important to have those greetings, whether you're getting on the elevator, getting off the elevator, going in the shop, don't forget that. Buenos días, buenas noches, buenas tardes. Those things do make a difference when you're here. It does make the people a little more happy to talk to you or happy to help you, but I will say this, in general though, don't expect super fast service. I mean, we're in Central America, it is a little bit, you know, more take your timey kind of service, but I would say in general, my experience throughout Central America, the friendly service nature that you'll get in like Belize or Costa Rica is not quite the same here, okay? So don't expect a lot of like really great service when you are here. I mean, you do have to make sure you ask for the bill, ask for your menu. Don't be rude about it, because people will be rude back to you, but you will notice a little bit different level of service you get here in Panama than you get other parts of Central America, so do be aware of that. And I have seen some tourists get upset about it, because like, wait, I'm paying so much more here than I did in Guatemala or Nicaragua, and I'm getting like a lower level of service. What's going on here? So do know that the service not as friendly and as attentive as you might be expecting. The people are nice though, that's why it's important to make sure wherever you go, don't forget to say buenos dias, buenas tardes, and say hi, because that's gonna do a little bit better job to ingratiate yourself, so you might get a little bit better service. But honestly, the people here have been fantastic to us, so I can't really complain about the people. The service a little bit, the people, no, I can't. But the thing is, I want to tell you, one way you're definitely going to upset the locals here is don't do this. Don't compare, you know, Panama to Colombia or Costa Rica. And we were coming here and my son mentioned, it's like, hey, did you know that Panama is part of Gran Colombia? I'm like, yes, I did, but don't mention it to the locals, because Colombia and Panama, two different places. Don't think you can get to Panama via the land. The Darien Gap makes it literally impossible to traverse down into Colombia, okay? So they're like, look, we don't want to be associated, the Darien Pass is there, we have an unpassable pass, don't compare us to them. But also, don't compare us to Costa Rica, because that's what a lot of tourists do. They come from Costa Rica down into Panama and they say, well, in Costa Rica it's like this, and Costa Rica is that. That's not going to ingratiate yourself with the locals. Don't compare to the two neighbors, because they do have quite the rivalry between the two, so do be aware of that. If you're in Panama, don't ever doubt Panamanian pride, because you'll see those flags flying everywhere. And Liam's right. They are probably one of the coolest flags you can see in the Western Hemisphere. So yes, the Panama hat is really from Ecuador, but don't worry, you can get good Panama hats here as well. But I will say this, don't forget to get some souvenirs when you are here. Probably the most famous thing from here is molas, which are basically like, you'll see the embroidered on black kind of like fabrics kind of stuff, whether it might be on a shirt, but most likely it's on a bag or something, or you can have it for like a piece of fabric to hang on your wall, like a painting kind of thing. That's probably the biggest thing to get. But if you want to bring some stuff home, maybe food stuff, Duran coffee is their coffee from here, which is very popular. Also, you can bring the hot sauce. I like the orange hot sauce when you're here, but there are some options for you when you do come. So whether it's a Panama hat or the molas, which I prefer to get, or they actually have masks you can get here. However, when I've been asking around where the masks are made, no one can really tell me where. So if you're gonna get one of those masks, make sure you go to one of the indigenous tribes and go there and buy it from the artist there, because if you're going to like, maybe not this one, but if you go to other the souvenir shops, those masks might not be hecho in Panama. Now, when you gotta go in Panama, I do want to let you know, you don't throw the toilet paper down into the toilet. In a lot of places, especially the rural areas, it goes into the bin next to the toilet. So be aware of that. That's why don't forget to tip the ladies that clean your room, because literally they're cleaning up your poop. Okay? But when you're going around, don't be surprised if you use a public bathroom, if you might need to, you know, pay for the toilet, but also don't forget to bring tissues with you. Don't forget to bring some toilet paper with you, especially if you're going on some of your hikes or you're going to do some of your ecotourism adventures, because yeah, don't expect toilet paper to be in the toilets where you go, all right? So be aware of that. So if you're wondering why I'm here in a bathroom holding my toothbrush, well, another tip I have for you is don't worry about the water when you're here in Panama City. You can brush your teeth with it. You can drink the tap water. It's okay. They have water treatment here. They do a nice job with it. Now, if you go to like day trips into the rural areas of Panama, and maybe do bottled water there. But here in Panama City, you don't have to worry about the water, so go brush your teeth. And another thing is people, they're like, wait, Mark, you talk about the toilet paper and the water. Is it okay to eat the food when we're here? Yes, don't worry about the food when you come to Panama. There's some fantastic stuff you need to eat, so don't miss out on some local treats. Sancocho, it's the local chicken soup. You're like, chicken soup? Yeah, chicken soup with yuca in it and corn, cilantro. I mean, it actually is a really flavorful soup. Do get it, I highly recommend it. Other things, ropa vieja, think about shredded beef, like a tomato sauce kind of things with rice and beans, and rice and beans will show up a lot when you are here, but if you can get on the coast, if you can get the coconut rice on the coast, oh, so good. And the thing is, we're on the sea, so seafood is gonna be fantastic when you're here, but probably the most famous thing is the ceviche, which is, you know, like fish, shrimp, octopus, marinated in lime juice, which is super good. And when you got that heat and humidity when you're here, it's actually a very refreshing way to fill up and not melt from the over heaviness of having lots of rice and beans and ropa vieja. Oh, also when you're here, don't forget street food is totally cool when you're here. People love the street food. One of the like little things I like to get, I'll get this at cafes, I'll get this for breakfast or a snack kind of thing. But the caramaniolas, which is basically like shredded up yuca, and they batter and fry it, and it's stuffed with like cheese and meat in it. You see it, you're like, oh, it's like a little torpedo of happiness. It is. Get them. You're welcome. I'm just going to say that. You're going to enjoy it. And you get some of the typical Central American snacks. Patacones are here all over. You can get that. But yeah, there are some local dishes you don't want to pass up on. Now, I know I said, don't be surprised by the heat and humidity because it's all the time here. But I'm going to tell you, don't complain to the locals about the heat and humidity because they already know. Also, don't complain about the bugs. I mean, look, heat, humidity, bugs, it's a fact of life when you come to Panama. I'm not joking, the bugs here are no joke. The hotel I'm at, it even has a little sign talking about the chitra. Okay, the little no-see-ums that'll get you, they'll be very itchy. So yeah, don't mess with the bugs when you're here. Have that after bite because it's gonna get you. So don't forget to stay hydrated like I talked about before. Have sunblock, use it a lot. High SPF, not low, high SPF because you're so close to the equator. It really can get you. Have your hat. I'm actually swimming with that full shirt on just to be safe when I am here. So do be aware of that. It will get you. But yeah, don't forget that beach stuff. Have a good time, but lather up on it. And the heat and humidity. If you need to get out of the heat and humidity, another thing I was going to say, if you're going to do some of the hikes around the country, don't do the afternoon hikes, do the morning hikes to avoid the heat because it can be like 20 degrees cooler in the morning than it is in the afternoon. So just be safe with that. And I think another thing I need to mention is the beaches. Look, you have fantastic beaches in Panama on the Pacific side where I am now, but also the Caribbean side. And I got to tell you, don't think the beaches are the same. Look, if you go to San Blas Islands, which you have to go, and I'm going to talk about that, or you know, Boca de Toro, you know, going over there on the Caribbean coast, like you really feel like you're in the Caribbean. You get that Caribbean vibe, and the beautiful white sand and the crystal clear blue water and just, yeah, I'm just like enjoying life, kind of Caribbean kind of stuff. You have that there. But if you're on the Pacific side, this is one of the Pacific beaches. It's like crushed up, you know, shells that are here, but it's more of the darker sand. It's not as like the postcard pretty beaches. However, if you want to learn to surf, you want to go surfing here, surfing is really cool. Fishing over here is cool. Like going exploring the islands on this side too. But there is a difference between the two. I think the Pacific coast, more chillax kind of vacationing, whereas the Caribbean side is much more Caribbean type of vacationing. So there is that, so be aware of it. And I gotta say, don't miss out on the Caribbean islands. I wanna put that out. The San Blas Islands, going over there with the white sand, so few tourists that are there. You know, the Gunayala people, like the indigenous people that are there. I mean, it's a true experience when you go there, and you gotta go. But I will tell you, don't expect any amenities. Don't expect much when you go there. Don't even expect basic utilities like, oh, Wi-Fi is a fact of life. No, not there. Electricity, no, not everywhere. Just be aware of that when you go. That's why a lot of people do end up doing a day trip to San Blas, though I will say, don't do the day trip from San Blas from Panama City, because if you're doing that 2.5 to 5 hour ride over there, depending when you go, usually it's about 3 hours. If it's Carnival, it might be 5, so be aware of that. So that's a very long day, but it's worth going to. But if you can stay on the islands and have true experience there, it is fantastic. If you want more of a built-up kind of island experience, you know, Bocas del Toro, where you're going island hopping there and you go snorkeling and stuff, that might be a little bit better for you to have more like amenities, let's say. But honestly, either one of those, you go to the Caribbean coast, San Blas is number 1, Bocas del Toro is number 2 in terms of like which ones I'd recommend, but you gotta do it. They are gorgeous. Now I'll give you some advice on the Caribbean islands. I wanna give you some advice about Panama City, and we do have a Don'ts of Panama City video, so there's a lot there. Watch that video, I'll link it below. But I will say this, don't dress like a slob when you're going out in Panama City. You're gonna go shopping in Panama City, because a lot of people out on the Caribbean coast, I do the beach wear and kind of stuff. Panama City, people dress up a bit more. I mean, I feel like in terms of the capital cities around Central America, Panama City, the people dress the best, they the most elevated clothing kind of stuff, so do be aware of that. And don't be surprised you see more high-rises in Panama City than you see in Miami. I mean, it's crazy when you go there in comparison to other parts of the country, especially other parts of Central America. It is very different. And don't pass up Casco Viejo. That's kind of like the old historic part of town that's there. You can visit when you go. That's kind of a cool place, Plaza de Independencia. You can stay there and see that. But yeah, Panama City, cool. Also, don't forget, you're getting around. Don't forget there's different ways to get around. Yeah, you can take the buses to go, and you can drive, you can rent a car, you can get personal drivers, private drives, all those things. But I will say this, the distances are a lot longer than they seem, so don't be afraid to take some of the local airplanes and fly to different parts. Fly from Panama City to Bocas del Toro. You want to do that, or other parts, you know. You want to go to, yeah, because the distances and the hilliness of the rides, it can be a little bit tummy trouble inducing, which I've seen on people and from people doing that here, so be aware of that. So don't be afraid, but I will say, don't wait to book your flights inside of Panama. Get that taken care of before you come, because though it's affordable and relatively cheap to get those like domestic tickets when you book early, if you do it at last minute, especially spring break or big tourist times, those prices do go higher up. Now I will say bus tickets pretty much stay the same, so you can buy those anytime, but domestic flights, I would get those beforehand. Also, when you're going around, when it comes to taxis here in Panama, don't just get in a taxi. I mean, Uber is your friend when you're here. Rideshare apps are your friend when you're here in Panama. But if you do have to take a taxi, make sure you don't forget to negotiate before you get in, to make sure you have a price that's there, because taxi scams are everywhere in the world, including here, including Panama City. So do be aware of that. Though the taxi people I've dealt with when I've been here have all been really cool. Even the ones that are asking me if I need a ride, I'm like, all right, I got an Uber set up. They're like, hey, that's cool, man. Have a good time here in Panama. I'm like, gracias. You know, it's really kind of cool that way. Like, honestly, taxi drive's been super nice here, but I have heard of a lot of people having issues, so Uber might be a better way to get around. And speaking of getting around and going around, I will say this, don't forget to have ID with you all the time. If you don't feel comfortable taking your passport with you on certain things, lock up your passport in your suitcase, take pictures of your passport so you have it on your phone, but also have photocopies of it, okay? You wanna have a photocopy just in case there's this and this, because I go around with my photocopy of my passport, it on my phone, and then my US license, I have that, though, you know, it's not official because it's just a driver's license, but I have those so that I can talk to the police, be like, hey, look, I have my passport in the hotel. I'm glad to go with you there to see it. So usually it's been fine, because don't think they have to have a reason to ask you for your ID here in Panama. The cops can ask you for no reason whatsoever, okay? It's a safety thing, just be aware of that. Another safety thing I want to mention when you're going to the beach is whether Pacific or the Caribbean. One, don't forget to look at the signs if you need to be careful. Also, don't forget to look at the flags if it's safe to go in the water or not, all right? So 2 safety things I forgot to mention. I want to make sure you know, because a lot of people come here to enjoy the beach, and I want you to have a good and safe time when you're here. Now, when you come to Panama, rain is going to come. So I want to tell you this. Don't think it doesn't rain in the dry season, because it does rain here. But I will say it is important to take care of when you are going to come, because the highest point of the rainy season, like in October, I don't really recommend coming then, because you're going to get rain a lot of times, most times during the day. But honestly, when you do come, even if you're here, like I'm here in the dry season, and you have a little downpour that'll pop up, have a little poncho with you. It's usually pretty quick and goes away. But yeah, don't think dry season means dry, no rain season, because it'll get you. Now, I know I talked about the beaches, the Caribbean beaches and the Pacific beaches and Panama City, but I also want to tell you this. Don't forget about the ecotourism stuff with inside of Panama. Look, you can go into the rainforest and hike there. You can go to the, you're here in Panama, you go in the canal and go through there and see that, but you can go to the, Monkey Island and see the monkeys there. But going around, hiking in the rainforest, going on tours, doing those things, zip lining, they have those fantastic things when you come here to Panama. So go and enjoy that. Go and enjoy the nature with inland, all right? Because you're gonna love it when you're here, because it's not just Panama City or some Blas Islands. There's the interior of the country to enjoy as well. And when you're going on those tours, or you're going out to eat, or you're going things, I also want to tell you this, don't forget to tip your guides. Don't forget to tip the ladies that clean up your poop, you know what I'm talking about, in your rooms. But also don't forget, you do tip at restaurants. However, I want to tell you this, don't forget to look to see if they already put the propina or the servicio on the bill before you pay, because you don't need to tip twice. Tipping here is about 10%. If you're going to street food, you don't tip there, okay? But do be aware of the tipping is a thing here, 10%. You're good to go at restaurants, but make sure you do check. Because some of them will be like, oh, would you like to leave a propina? I'm like, there's already a propina on there. So do be aware of that. And with the higher prices here, you're like, wait a minute, I'm now tipping more than I would for this meal back in the US. And speaking of eating, I think another tip I have for you when you go out to eat, or you go, especially if you go to somebody's home here in Panama, don't forget to leave a little bit of food on the plate, because they're not the clean plate club. Here they're like, leave a little bit to show that you're satisfied and everything was good. You're so full you couldn't possibly eat anymore, because you got an empty plate. They're gonna think, oh, I didn't give them enough food. I didn't give them enough. I need to feed them more. And believe me, you'll like the food here, but you gotta have your limits. So leave a little bit there. Be like, oh, can't eat anymore. It'll make your life a little bit better. So when you go on those hikes, you go swimming and enjoying things. You don't go, oh, I'm gonna float away into the canal, all right? So what are some of the do's and don'ts you have for coming to Panama? Let us know in the comments below to help other travelers enjoy this beautiful country. And I'll say bye from here outside the Panama Canal. Oh, fun thing, if you're by the Panama Canal and you look out there, you literally see night and day, there's just ships lined up out there just to kind of take it all in. Kind of cool. Bye from Panama.